Okay, so I always got people want to know what my recipes are on different things, and I've not. Some of them I write down, some of them I don't. Some of them I've just got them in my head. Uh, but being a connoisseur from God's grocery store, I like to, I try a lot of different things. Most of my meat throughout the year is something I've harvested throughout the different seasons. Uh, right now ain't really nothing in season. We got turkey season coming up next week here in Kentucky, but as far as anything I'm going to eat being in season. But anyway, I just wanted to show you a couple things here. I like meatloaf, but I don't care much for your meatloaf flavor, like the flavor packets of meatloaf. Uh, but I like burger. So I'll take a lot of times what if I was gonna make a hamburger patty, same seasoning I would use a lot of times, I'll put that in my ground meat. Uh, and I use pretty much the same mixture, same combination. Uh, there's some subtle differences depending on what cut of meat it is. If it's ground, you can pretty much flavor it to how you want. You got to be careful with fresh cuts of meat because some things will make it tougher. Something with a lot of salt will cause a brine layer, a thin layer of tough around the outside edge if you use too much salt on it and things like that. Uh, my experience, simpler is better, especially with venison, things like that. Now you can complicate it. You can get all these different flavor profiles and slow cook this and boil that and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty much stuff done to your liking. So I'll quit rambling and I'll just a few things here. I had thawed out a package of deer burger and package of deer sausage, uh, and it was ready to cook. So instead of just doing individual burgers, I made a meatloaf. Like I said, I don't care much for meatloaf flavor in the package, so I make my own, and it's simple: seasoned salt, light amount. Uh, this stuff right here, my wife, bless her heart, thank God for every day. Uh, it's called a perfect seasoning mix, and this will absolutely work on anything venison. No matter what you're doing, you can put this on it, uh, and it's excellent. It's absolutely wonderful on any wild game. But uh, I found this right here mixed with a lot of times better than bouillon paste. Bouillon paste goes a long, long, long way. It don't take very. It takes a teaspoon of it will season the whole thing, depending on what you're doing. But anyway, I do like fajita meat sometimes with those, and it's just like, and I'll tenderize it, and it's just like you don't even need a knife. It's like chewing a marshmallow. It's so tender. Anyway, so seasoned salt, uh, seasoned perfecta, uh, perfect seasoned mix, and this right here, if you like A1, dry rub, bold, natural, A1. Now, that's the only thing I put in there. Like I said, it was a package of deer burger and package of deer sausage. Combine the two, mix it up really well, just by hand in the sink, in the paper. Combine it, put all the dry stuff on it, combine it, and then I took my iron skillet, which I love. I love the iron skillet. Got some oil in there, pretty hot, and brown this whole big loaf on all sides, flat down, flat over on the other side. Then it's gonna hold together. Then I do the edges. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm heating the oven to 350. When I've got that whole loaf browned all the way around, uh, I'll take and put the meatloaf on this oven rack right over top. I'll drain the grease out of this iron skillet, put the meatloaf right on this cooking rack, right over top of it, shove the whole thing in the oven. Don't cover it, nothing. Let all that moisture out of it, because there's so much. Because on my venison, instead of there's little tricks to holding this meat together to make it a loaf. I have beef fat in mine, beef fat or pork fat, either one. But happen to have beef fat in my burger, and so it holds together really well. If you've just got plain old meat, uh, it won't stick together in a loaf. If it's just meat with no fat or anything, so what you can do is you add a couple eggs, mix it all up really good. And if you don't have any egg, you can use vegetable oil. It don't hold as good, but it will hold to a point. Anyway, you stick the whole thing in the oven for 45 minutes. At 45 minutes, you take it out. Now Here is the icing on top, so to speak. And I don't know if any of you have ever done this before. It's just something that Josh does. One of my added touches to one of my recipes. This is Josh's meatloaf. Apple butter. Believe it or not, this is from Jackson's Orchard in Richardsville, Kentucky. 1280 Slim Island Road, Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's Richardsville to us. Okay, Warren County. Apple butter. You take your knife and you cover the whole top of this mold. You pull it out after 45 minutes. Take your knife and you cover the whole thing like putting icing on a cake with apple butter. What goes on top of the apple butter? Sweet Baby Ray's, the original, award-winning gourmet barbecue sauce. Sauce is the boss. Sweet Baby Ray's. You put that all over the top of it, and you take your knife and you fold it all in there together. Then you let it finish in the oven for another 15, 20 minutes, according to how done you like your meatloaf. I like my burger fairly well done, but I don't want it dry and crumbly. So for me, an hour and 5 minutes was perfect, absolutely perfect, and at 350. So I combined all the dry stuff, mixed the two up, combined everything really, really well, made the loaf out of it, browned it on all sides in the iron skillet. Okay, that took about, what, 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Drained that grease out, put my cooking rack right on the iron skillet, put my meatloaf right on top of that, 45, 50 minutes in the oven at 350. Then I put my topping, my apple butter, Sweet Baby Ray's glaze on top of that, and let it go in there for about 15 more minutes, maybe 20. Then I turned it off, and when I turned it off in this little skillet, I had 5 or 6 morels, not bread or anything, just fried in butter, because I only had 5 or 6. I didn't want to make a mess of cornmeal and stuff with just 5 or 6. You get the same exact flavor, they just shrink. You'll take a morel big as your thumb, and it'll shrink to about the size of a penny by the time it gets brown. But you want to cook a morel at least 4 minutes. At least 4 minutes. You don't want to eat morels uncooked. They're not poisonous, but they'll send you somewhere for longer than 4 minutes at a time. So you make sure they're well done, and that's it. That's Josh's meatloaf from God's grocery store. Thank y'all. God bless you. Appreciate you watching.